Let me ask you a question at the very beginning. How many of you could use a breakthrough right now? Okay, good, I got the right crowd. I read the front of the paper today. It said that the auto industry now wants a bailout. Right? Everybody wants a bailout. By the way, who's going to bail you out? Who do you think? Me. Yeah, right. What's that old line? If it is to be, it's up to me. It's up to me, right? So let's talk about breakthroughs right away, okay? There are 3 steps to having a breakthrough. The first step is to have a break with your past ways of thinking. Would you agree that if things are going to improve for you, you can't keep thinking what you've been thinking? Because if you keep thinking what you've been thinking, you'll keep getting what you've been getting. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, most thinking is non-thinking. It's automatic thinking. It's that little voice in your head. How many have a little voice in your head? You talk to yourself? Yeah, it's all right to talk to yourself as long as you don't catch yourself saying, huh? What was that? You talk to yourself at 5,000 words a day. And where is that conversation coming from? Is it coming from your wonderful, bright future, or is it coming from your past? Which one? It's coming from your past. Which is why we say the past portends the future. The past predicts the future. So we keep recreating the past in the present. Would anyone here like to know what your future looks like? Anyone? Some of you don't want to know. Don't really want to know. Thanks anyway. Save me. I have a friend, he's a numerologist, right? If you give him when you were born and all your stuff and all your numbers, he can go on forever about your future, right? Yeah. But it is all kind of interesting. It's like, kind of like reading your horoscope. But ultimately, I want to think that I have some impact on my future, yes? Yeah. That I can design my own future. So the thing about thinking is this. Some people say that you have your story. How many know people that have a story about their life? They're all the time telling you about their story, right? The story about money, the story about business, the story about relationship. You got friends that got a story about relationship? Like they keep getting the same relationship over and over again, a different person? Yes? You think it has anything to do with them? You think it has anything to do with their story? Right? Yeah. So, you have your story, and then you have your life. Right? Like those two things are separate. May I suggest to you that your story that you made up, or that got formed out of your childhood, your experience, your successes, your losses, your whatever happened in your life, that you're actually living out that story. And I'm going to suggest, because we're talking about shifting your thinking, yes? Because there's no change in results without a change in consciousness. You have to raise the level of your consciousness. You have to, in other words, become more aware of why you are where you are. Right? No blame, just why you are where you are. So I'm going to suggest some homework, because this is about the work. Transformation is about transforming your life, and it means you got to work at it. Yes? Is there anything better you could work on than your life? No. Okay. So if you're taking notes, I want you to jot this down. This is some homework. I want you to write the story of your life, but I want you to take, first of all, I want you to take, let's take work. Because work and money seems to be pretty much on people's minds these days, yes? Yeah, with all the financial markets and all the other stuff, right? And you got to be careful buying in. I was with one of my coaching members yesterday. I have a coaching program. We've been coaching people for many, many years. And this guy basically went from very little income to about over $500,000 a year, right? Okay. And I mean, you know, for example, on one transaction he made $225,000. Is that good or good? That was a cold call, by the way. That would tell you make more cold calls, yes? But now he's kind of in a slump. Anybody ever been in a slump? He's stuck. Does that make sense? Yeah, he's stuck. Okay, then I started talking to him. I said, so tell me what your day's like. Well, I get up in the morning and he says, and I've been day trading. So I go online and I look at the financial markets. and then I get depressed. Oh, and then you're real motivated the rest of the day, right? Because then he goes to his other job, he does his profession at, like 10 o'clock in the morning, starts doing that, but by then he's depressed. And by the way, if you're depressed, are you real energetic? No, okay. So the homework is you're going to write your story about your business, right? Like how business is for you, how money is for you, right? Okay, now, what you're going to find is, how many know that you lie to yourself? There are a lot of, untruths, lies that you tell yourself about money, about how you can have money and you don't get money, and how many know some people that have money? Okay, good. Don't you hate those people? Right? No, you have to feel good about them, right? Okay, if you want to have more money. And then how many notice that you have a story about relationship? Like how a relationship is. Okay. So obviously we know we have a story, but here's the real value. Okay. A lot of research has been done. What you need to do is you need to write out your story, but not with a computer, with a notebook and a pen, right? Okay. Now, so once you start seeing the inconsistencies in your story or the things that you've told yourself that are really not true, because I'm going to give you 3 things to look for, okay? Then what you're going to do is create an awareness that in fact, that some of the things you've told yourself is not true. Now here's the key question. I want you to write down the question. The question is, can you get to where you want to get to in your business, as an example, with the story that you've got now? With the story you've been telling yourself, can you get where you want to get to? What's the answer? No. So guess what? You've got to change your story. Your self-talk, that non-thinking, is coming out of your beliefs, your concepts, and your story about your life. And that's why it keeps reoccurring. Now, let me ask you another question. How many of you would pay to see a movie of your life? Okay, good. Would you stay to the end? What do you think? Would it be that interesting? Come on. How many think about might be a movie, a comedy? Let's see, how many comedies do we have out there? Okay, good, all right. How about a movie of romance? Romance? No? Come on. How about adventure? Adventure. Okay. James Bond, Mission Impossible, right? What about soap operas? Do you have any soap operas out there? So you probably watch soap operas, huh? What's your name? You don't have to watch them. Who watches soap operas? Anybody? Anybody? You watch soap operas. What's your name? Andrea. Andrea probably got here just in time, because if you watch too many soap operas, you will end up on the edge of the night in General Hospital with all my children. Pretty soon your life becomes a soap opera, right? Yeah, something like that. Okay. So just rewrite your story. Next is I want you to rewrite your story, right? The way you'd like it to be, but in present tense, as though it's already occurring. Now, you got that? Like right now, my business is going like this is what's happening, and the money is just flowing to me, and it's really wonderful, and it's with ease, and it's great, and all that kind of thing. It's fun, however it is for you, however you like it to be, right? Okay, good. So one is you have to have a break with your old ways of thinking. And number 2 is you have to have a break with your old ways of doing. Your old ways of doing. So, someone tell me the definition of insanity. Yeah, the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right? Yeah. And by the way, do we do that? Yeah, I do that at times, absolutely. Until you have some awareness that you're doing that. And many times what you need is a pattern interrupt. May I suggest that the 2 days that you're going to spend here will be a pattern interrupt to your old way of thinking, right? Now, in many cases, it's right in tune with your new way of thinking, right? But in many cases, it's going to be a pattern interrupt. How many of you have a coach right now in your life? A professional coach. Wonderful. Great. So my guess is that your coach is a pattern interrupt to your thinking. Big time pattern interrupt, yeah. Yeah, the coach just redirects you and brings you right back to what the real matter in the case is, right? Right? Or the cause in the matter, clears it up, asks you what do you want to do, and then let's get at doing it, right? Something like that. It takes a little longer, but okay, good. In fact, how many of you came here because you want to change something about yourself? See your hands. Okay, great. So let me ask you, how many of you have ever tried to change someone else? Like your husband, wife, children, what have you, okay? By the way, how many were really successful at that? Let's see the hands. No? No? Oh, what? Did you change your wife? Yes?
Well, we both changed at the time.
Oh, you're both changing. Okay, good. Okay, great. All right. So why don't we do this? Let's talk about change for a moment. Go ahead and fold your hands together like that. How does that feel? Feel comfortable? Yes? Okay, good. So notice which thumb's on top. Right thumb, left thumb. Okay. Now, you know what they say about left brain thinkers? They're very analytical, very sequential, very detail oriented. How many have the left thumb on top? Let's see your hands, please. Okay, these people are the intellectuals. So anything you want to know, ask these people. You have the answers, right? Okay. How many have the, now, right brain people, on the other hand, right brain people tend to think in a more holistic way, or the big picture. They tend to be much more emotional, right? So how many of you have the right thumb on top? Let's see your hands, please. Okay, good. These people are all oversexed, okay? Some of you want to switch, right? I think I would like to switch. Thank you very much. Okay, so fold your hands the other way, so the opposite thumb's on top. How does it feel? Uncomfortable? Yes? Does it feel uncomfortable? Okay. So it's like this is the wrong way. Your mind tells you it's the wrong way. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. But if you did it this way for about 3 weeks, one way would pretty much feel as comfortable as the other way. But that's what change feels like many times. It's kind of like telling yourself, okay, I'm going to get up an hour early in the morning and go work out. Right? Which is a great idea until the clock goes off in the morning. You know what they say about discipline? Discipline is the ability to carry out your resolve long after the mood has left you. Okay? Yeah. So it's kind of like that. Now, so I want you to fold your arms like that. Okay? Now notice which hand is sticking out, and notice that some people don't have any hands sticking out. You can't trust these people. Very sneaky people, I tell you. They're hiding something. They're holding on to it. Okay, now I want you to unfold your arms. You can do it slowly, and I want you to fold the other way. See how that is. Now your arms don't work. Your arms are broken, right? What happened? Oh my God, what am I going to do now? I was fine until I came in here. Okay. Feels weird, huh? Yeah. Okay, so that's called change.